Hi YouTube, ACDodd here, and welcome to a new season of On the Road Tuning with me, ACDodd. So, without further ado, let's crack on and see what we got. Okay, so where are we today? Today we're back down in Portsmouth to Lee John's Morris Minor. So you will know this from the Christmas special when I came down and got it working. Lee's true to his word, has called me back down again. So since last time, he's fitted an alternator and he's also upgraded the headlights, so he's taken advantage of the extra power and he's converted to halogen, so he's liking that. My job today is to change the distributor for one of my recurved units. We're going to put a powerspark high power unit on, and we're going to change the coil, and then we're going to end up changing the carburetor as well. So without further ado, let's get stuck in. Okay, so what we've now done, as I've said, we've got the new powerspark dizzy. It's a bit difficult to see, but there's a new dizzy there. We've got a new Viper 0.8 ohm coil, so this is running the same sort of power ignition as a 1990s car, which is exactly what you need if you want to run a nice lean mixture at part throttle. So the engine now runs, and I'm now turning my attention to changing this. This is well worn, so we're going to take the HS4 off and fit a rebuilt replacement. Righto, so we've got the engine all back running again now. So just to go over, we've got a new powerspark dizzy with a high energy coil, high energy module. I've regapped the spark plugs to take into account the high energy ignition, so we've got 35 thou on the plugs. And then I'll change the carburetor. We had this horrible abortion, so I'll just show you the play that we had in the spindle. So if you just look at the spindle there, look at that wobbling about like a good one. That was horrendous. So that's why we changed that. And we've got an ACDodd rebuilt one, and this one had to have a slightly leaner needle in it than the other one. So we've gone with an M needle with a little bit of modification. Obviously this one's got a vacuum advance on it now, so it runs really good. Now the other thing I've done with this one as well, because we've got the high energy ignition, I've been able to set the carburetor up to be a little bit leaner, so it should run much more efficiently now, and hopefully the MPG will be a lot better. Anyway, let's let Lee go out in it and see what he thinks. Okay, this is Lee. You'll all remember Lee from the Christmas special that I did. So it's quite fitting that he was the last car I tuned before Christmas, and he's also the first car of the new season. So welcome to season 3, Lee. Anyway, the Morris Minor. We've changed everything now. So it's got new distributor. It's got a recurve distributor. It's now got a vacuum unit works. We've now got high power ignition coil. Great big sparks. We've also changed the carburetor. Cool, we've changed everything. So you've been out for a drive. Now what's it like?
It's a beautiful car to drive now. It's like driving a modern car. Goes really well. Picks up in second and third like, you know, nobody's business. It's never been that running smooth ever before.
I also noticed you did a little wheel spin in the drive earlier, so clearly it's...
I did, yeah. As I pulled in, the back wheels were spinning, so yeah, it's definitely running beautifully.
So for a standard sort of 1098 Minor, this one's not doing too bad, is it?
No, it runs lovely.
Excellent.
Can't believe the difference. Yeah, even when you left it with us after Christmas, after just doing a little bit of work to it, it ran better, but now it's like a completely different car.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I recommend anybody that owns a Morris Minor, regardless of characteristics of keeping it original, it's the way forward to make them work properly.
Yeah, so that's interesting you say that, because obviously a lot of Morris Minor owners like to keep everything original, but in your case you've gone for a modern ignition system, a rebuilt carb, and everything is still standard other than the fact it's now got a 1990s type ignition system. It's got a standard carb, but we've actually optimized and got the best out of the engine, but the difference is amazing, isn't it?
It's completely amazing. Yeah, it's a completely different car. It runs beautifully and goes a lot faster than it ever did before.
Yeah. I think you mentioned something about 65 mile an hour earlier, which he's never done. So
I've had 65 out of it a minute ago, and I was quite surprised.
Okay, all right then. So as you've already mentioned to other people to come and get hold of me for a tune. So thanks for having me back again and let me finish the work off on your car.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll have you back again when I finish the one behind you.
Okay. All right, thanks, Lee.
Thanks very much.
Right, this is Sean. So we come out to Sean today. He's asked me out here to look at his car, and actually it would be lying if I said I've only just got here. This is my second visit, so let's see what Sean's got to say about it, and then we'll go from there.
Better the first time round for sure. Yeah, he came over, he changed the carb over, felt it straight away, much better, and running from the line. Let's say you get on today.
Yeah, so effectively what we've done is I've come out, looked at the car. Carburettor was unfortunately blocked with detritus. Sean unfortunately had to have the car worked on for a long period of time, and unfortunately left it, well, it wasn't him, but the people who had it left it 11 months with the fuel tank full, so it filled the fuel system up with detritus. So a new carb has solved the problem. Then I've come back today to dial that carb in. So let's see what else we need to do to get this one running and get it running strong.
Looking forward to it.
Thank you. Okay, so we're under the bonnet of Sean's car. So as he's already said, I was here last time. We fitted a new carb. The reason why I have had to come back is because we didn't have the appropriate exchange for the carb. So that's since been sorted out. Sean's fitted the carb, got the engine running, which is running very well. So I've just come back to finish the tune-up. So the carb itself is all working. The engine's running perfectly good enough. What I've now done, so previously I've already gone through and checked the coil and all the rest of it and the plugs, and it's all good. What I have checked this morning, because last time with the old carburettor I couldn't rev the engine up fully to check the advance curve. So I've done that today, and unfortunately the advance curve is too long. So this is an advance curve out of a later Sprite engine, which is known for being very long. So obviously I want to get the maximum performance out of this engine, so I need to change the advance curve. So I'm going to do that now, and I'll carry the advance curves with me. So let's go through that process. Right, so what I've done is I've got the distributor out of the engine, so I'm going to take it apart now, and we're going to change the centrifugal advance mechanism, which is in the base of the distributor. So in order to get to that, we've got to strip this down. By removing these screws, and we have to be careful because what we don't want to do is break anything off. Right, so if we find something that is too tight, then that can stop the job. All right, because we're in the field and we're not in the workshop. So luckily on this one it's all come apart, so I've got those 3 screws out, and then we can see the problem and why we're changing it once we get that top off. You can obviously see the amount of dirt and detritus coming off of that as well. So the new distributor bottom half that we'll replace is nice and clean. So good, that's that off. So we take the top half of the distributor off, keep all the screws, and our issues lie in there. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'll just have a look and see what advance number we've got on that. Yeah, so we've got 18 degrees of advance in there, which is 36 degrees of crankshaft advance built into the distributor, which is what our problem is. So what we're going to do now is we're going to change this for a recurve bottom half, which will be modified to have a much shorter yet faster advance curve. Okay, so this is the replacement distributor. As you can see, it's got a number on the side. That's 3,750 RPM. That's where this particular one is fully advanced. So what I've done to modify it is I've shortened the advance on this one by adding a metal stop to it, and I've also changed the springs to give me a more favourable advance curve. So we'll get that bolted in there, get it tightened up and see what happens. Okay, so what we've got now is got the distributor in, the engine's actually running much better, and the new carburettor is actually fueling very well at part throttle. So what I'm going to do is just put a little bit more fueling in at the top end, because this is a standard needle and that's got a stage 1 kit, just to make sure there's plenty of fuel going through when it's under full power. Alright, and then we'll get it back together and get Sean out for a test drive. Okay, so we've got this one nicely dialed in. So just to confirm, we've got a new distributor, recurved bottom half in there. The vacuum unit's original, but that's all working. The new carburettor is now dialed in. We've got a BDL needle. It was absolutely perfect at part throttle. I just had to add more fueling at the top end, and I've now set up the acceleration enrichment. It's running ATF in the dashpot, and she's bang on the money. So what we're now going to do is send Sean out for a test drive. So Sean's been out in his Mini now. We've got all those bits fitted. What's it like?
100% better, fantastic. Feel it all the way through to every gear, pulling away, mid-range, wonderful. Very happy.
Excellent. Okay, so obviously we fitted a new advanced curve in the for your Dizzy, and obviously the new carb, which we'd already mentioned. Would you recommend that to other people?
I'd always recommend getting done whatever needs doing, and you say to do it, do it.
Excellent. All right.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for having us down, Sean. Really
Pleasure.
appreciate that, and I'm glad we was able to make this fantastic car run much better.
Brilliant. Until next time, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so here we are in Verwood, and we've got this nice Italian job. Now, nobody's seen this one before, but I've actually been out and tuned this last year. And I didn't finish the job because I didn't have a distributor that we needed. So it's a nice little car, but I've come back this year, and Dale, the owner, has asked me back to finish the job. So let's dig in and get it done. Okay, so we're down in Verwood again today. I looked at this car about 7 months ago. I don't think it made it to video, but when I did it last time, obviously as you can see here, it had the ignition system changed. The original coil was fine, and obviously I modified the needle and got the engine to run right. So this is a Sprite spec engine, so it's the low power version of the A Plus engine, so 50 horsepower or 52 horsepower. With a HI38 carb and a very long advance curve. Anyway, the reason why I'm back today is because at the time I didn't have a replacement vacuum unit for the Dizzy. So what we've done in the meantime is Dale, who owns the car, has brought me back down, and we're going to replace the Dizzy. So we're going to put a whole new Dizzy, which I've got here. As you can see, I've got its name on it. I've recurved it. And that will not only solve the problem with this vacuum unit, but obviously increase the performance of the engine. So interestingly, it's not just the vacuum unit that's gone. The vacuum unit's actually okay, but the mechanism's seized up inside, which is why we're having to replace the distributor. So I've got a new powerspark unit. As everybody knows, I love the powerspark units, to which I've obviously recurved, which is what that number is on the bottom. So let's get stuck in and get it changed. Right, so what we've now done is, if you look, we've got the new distributor in. That's all working, got it all plumbed up, got it timed in, engine's running again. We can, if you just look at the scale on there, you can see it's running nice and clean. So what I'm now going to do, because I've already tuned this before, just going to make sure that the needle requirements haven't changed with the new timing. And then we can send the owner out for a test drive. Okay, so this is Dale. Now Dale's the owner of this Italian job. Now we finished the tune-up, but we've done this in a slightly different order because I obviously started tuning this last year. So last year I found out that the distributor was seized and the vacuum wasn't working. So all I could do was just set the carburettor up. So perhaps if you'd just like to tell people your experience of using me at that point, that would be excellent.
I had Mr. Dodd come out last year. Again, he come and tuned the car, did all the needle, got it running as good as it could. One was to get it through the MOT because it failed on emissions and whatever else it failed on. Car ran great, loved it, but as Mr. Dodd said, the distributor needed changing due to the vacuum. Which is now done. Car runs great, so much better on the bottom, no flat spots, pickup brilliant, sort of from about 2,000 RPM, pulls like a train. And it's raining today, but we're getting, we're getting a few little wheel spins, little slides, and yeah, great fun, a lot of fun.
I think everybody can see by that smirky little smile you got there that obviously the car's a lot more enjoyable. But the interesting thing about your experience is you've had the experience of just having the carb done on its own, and then later on me coming back and having the dizzy done.
Yeah.
But as you can see now, you need both to get the full
Definitely
benefit.
to get the full package,
Yeah.
definitely.
Okay. All right. As ever, as I ask other people, would you recommend me to other people?
100%.
Excellent. Look at that. As quick as that. Marvellous. All right. Well, anyway, thanks, Dale, and I really appreciate you getting me down to finish this one off, and you've ended up with a cracking car.
Cheers.
Thank you. Okay, so here we are down in deepest Dorset, and we're in a shed, more like a big cattle shed. And this little Mini, and the owner in the background there, you can see, he's called me out because we've got some big flat spots. So let's have a look under the bonnet and see what we're working with, and then we'll talk to the owner. Okay, so under the bonnet, we've just got a straight A+ 998 engine. Interestingly, this one's got the Ducelia ignition on, which in this case I think we've got a problem with the ignition, but we'll dig into that. You can see I'm already started because there's a spark plug out, and we're running the standard HS2 carb, albeit someone's put a high flow type filter on. So let's go and have a word with the owner and see why he's called us down. Right, this is Billy, and Billy's called us down to his Mini. So what's up with the Mini and why have you called us down?
Well, we've got a flat spot, mid-rev range. Just when you feel like you're going to boot it, it goes down, really down on power. If you either go over that spot or back off and she fly on. But otherwise, apart from that, it's pretty good. But
Okay, so apart from the most annoying bit where you drive.
apart from that, the rest is meant.
Excellent. All right. Okay. Well, let's dig in and see what we can find. Okay. So as I've already said, already got a spark plug out. Just having a look. So initial looks at this one. We've got the right coil fitted. We've got ballast wire fitted. We've got points ignition. Ducelia. And I think we've got a problem with the timing setting, so we'll have a look at that in a little while. But first, Billy's already gone through and put new HT leads on, new spark plugs. The engine runs okay, but it's just got a big flat spot. So let's dig in. The first thing we're going to do is look at the spark plugs, and Billy's told me he put them in, and he took them out without gapping them. But that seems what most Mini owners do nowadays, because I think a lot of people still think these come gapped. So what we're going to do is gap these plugs. All right, I'm not going to change these ones, although they're got a little bit of carbon on. So that's obviously from cold running, or maybe as it's been tuned. So what we're going to do once we gap these is obviously carry on going through the process, look at the points, set the timing, then we'll look at the mixture. Okay, so this car's got points, so one of the things we need to do is to make sure the points are set properly. Now, a lot of people just use feeler blades, but in reality it's not accurate enough, so I use a dwell meter. And the dwell meter basically gives us an electrical measurement of the points gap. Okay, so I can tell you that now, that is lovely. Around 57 to 54 there, running. That's perfectly fine for application. All right, so those points are gapped nicely. So now I can move on to looking at the fueling. Okay, so we've got the engine going. Have a look at the meter. You'll see that at idle we've got a good mix, but as soon as we rev it up, we go too lean everywhere. So what we're going to do is take the needle out, modify that, put some more fuel in it, and we'll go from there. Okay, so we've got the carb off, and I think we can see the problem. That looks to be like a standard needle. So let's just take that out, and we'll see what's in there. Yeah, so the needle in that one is a standard AAC, and that's the reason why this car, along with the ignition timing, was flat. Okay, so I've ended up with an AAF needle, and that seems to be fueling me pretty well, but I'm going lean when I open the throttle. So this is a classic example of, you know, you've got to get the oil right. So I started off with 2050 and I thought it was going to be too thick, but in reality, the 1040 was too thin. So I've now got to go back to 2050, but that's only for this particular carb. Okay, so one of the things I've noticed now, we're nearly finished with the tune, but the carburetor fueling is wandering. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the needle valve in the carburetor to see if I can reduce that temporarily to make this carburetor a little bit better. The carburetor's working, so I don't really want to charge the customer £400 for a new carb when I think we can just get away with a new needle valve for now. So we'll try that and see if that cures the problem. Okay, so what we've got here is I've got the top of the carb, and I'm just going to remove the needle valve, and we can have a look, okay? And we can see the wear on it. Now, if you can zoom in, you can see there's a great big step on the end of that, which means it's worn. So what we're going to do is replace that, and then hopefully that'll improve the seal through the needle valve and be able to control the float pipe better, so to stop the fuel drifting while we've been tuning. So let's get that changed now. Okay, so what we've now got, I've changed the needle valve in the carburetor. You can see that because it's got a nice new gasket on there. The carburetor has responded, so we have solved that problem, which is really good. And the car is ready for a test drive. So. Sounds fantastic, so we'll let Billy go out in there now and see what he thinks. Okay, so Billy's been out for a drive, and I think you can just start to see that smile already. So tell us what you thought.
Oh, she goes like the clappers now. It's made a hell of a difference. That has just more revvy, no flat spots. Perfect. Just what he was after.
Excellent. Okay, well that's really good. I mean, the interesting thing about your one is actually there wasn't a lot wrong with it other than the ignition timing was incorrect. So whoever had set that last, and I know it wasn't yourself,
No.
I think they'd set it by leaving the vacuum connected while setting the static advance, which is obviously not the right way to do it. So.
No.
And the other thing is it had been fitted with a standard needle, so yeah, and you can, now you've driven it, now you can see the difference.
Oh yes, yeah, she's on rails now.
Excellent. All right, well, and hopefully you would recommend this service to others.
Oh, I definitely would. Yeah, fantastic. You're a bloody magician, you are.
All right, well, thanks for getting me down, Billy, and I was glad we was able to sort your car out.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that return to tuning, so stay tuned and watch out for more episodes in the future. As ever, like and subscribe, and I'll see you soon. Thank you very much.